Welcome back to your channel. My name is Brad, and this again is Supercoach Pro. Now, the buys are done and dusted. My side is absolutely cooked during the buys, and not in a good way. We actually went down in rankings over the last couple of weeks. We peaked at 38 and got a bit of a reality check just due to not really poor tradings, but just pure luck, I guess. So yeah, unfortunately this week we bought in Bonds. He gets a 60 odd. We bought in Darcy. He went well in the first half, then ended on like a 72. And we bought in McCarthy, he was essentially the primo in my team, scoring a 101. So yeah, a bit of a weird mixed bag, and probably not the mixed bag you want to take for Supercoach picks this week. Now, we did get rid of Bolton. We felt like with all the Freo players coming back into the side that his role was mainly forward, and I gained like 2 points off that trade. So Bolton become a casualty in my side, and I just thought he was the lowest averaging player at about 86. Robert's role, he was gifted some points on the wing the week before, so I figured that the 95 he'll take and then get off now while all the players come back into that side. And as it was, he had a disgusting role and scored a 60, so I got rid of him last week and Bolton, and then I got rid of Angus Clark, I believe. So we turned it into potentially three primos into two average players and one rookie. So on paper for the last 8 weeks, they should pay off. But you see the score there, and where like I was doing a potty with George, and he's ranked 1,000. Now there's only about 130 points difference between 601 and 1,000. So I'm actually in a point on my side where I've got 3 trades left. I've got a 24th in McCarthy, so if she's just laid out, I've got D6 cover. Whitfield out has been named not to take flight for the Friday game, so that certainly helps me. And I don't think he's a trade out. Not just saying it because I'm in the position of 601, but look, we've had a good season today. There's not much we can do now. We just got to hope that the players that do get minor injuries or long-term injuries are the players we do not own, which is not a death riding situation, but just a pure, no, right, let's hope for the best and hope that we can use our last 3 trades purely for injury, and that's it. So we scored at 18.48, which is a terrible score to be coming onto a potty with. But again, like no matter what year, no matter what week I've had, I've showed up more often than not. I might have missed maybe 1 or 2 weeks over the season for the last 3 or 4 years, but I've been fairly consistent with the way I played this game. I enjoy it generally for distraction. Now, I was not feeling like going to work today. Just wasn't feeling it. No, I know it's one that I think we don't understand, that we can take mental health days off and just sort of recuperate. Like there's things that are more important to life than just, sort of tediously slaving away work life in terms of, doing a 9 to 5 days a week and then earning 2 days a week, which is absolute BS, to be honest, that we've got to do this cycle of, rinse, repeat. So Supercoach has been an absolute distraction for me and hopefully a distraction for you guys. And hence why we're just not up to it today. So we're doing the Supercoach team review. We've done a few things today to help me, like do a gym session and other such things. And this week is about a terrible score, but looking on the positive and just going, well, we've had a good season. We've met a few really great people over the journey this year in Supercoach and interacted with some really loving support from the live streams that I'll do a live actually soon with George from SC Masters. Anyway, enough of that. So I've harped on a little bit too long, 4 minutes in, and we haven't even gone to my side. I'll give you a quick take, and I'm going to give you an honest take. I didn't watch a lot of football because it was my birthday on Saturday. So, yeah, I don't really know, a transcript to why these players scored really well. But just on merit, some of them, like, obviously you can see it's not like a bad side at all. Just a lot of poor scores from players you didn't expect. So if I undo my changes, you can see I didn't have Zorko on the field, obviously, because Zorko wasn't playing, Merritt wasn't playing, Caldwell wasn't playing, and I don't know who else I was missing primo-wise, but Bailey Smith was the 4th, I think. So Clark sort of saved me with 145. Dale got a tag, apparently, so 99 is pretty annoying. The Thursday night game sort of made me check out, if I'm being honest again. Excuse me. I brought in Bont for a 63. and Darcy for a 73. Really not ideal. On paper, the trades made sense, but even Oliver went 60 odd in this game the week before. So this game I'm talking about, sorry, Sydney v Doggies. So yeah, really frustrating trading for a guy that went 117 against Tigers the previous week, and Darcy went 130, 140 odd. So yeah, the back line, Sheasel's role is awful, but he's scored well the last couple of weeks before that. We've got 5 trades. I'm being honest. I'm getting rid of him. Like, I just could not be bothered with this pick. Sinclair, another average week. It's like Nas has sort of taken the role over completely. I don't know what the go is. Maybe someone from St Kilda can give me a bit more detail onto why he's sort of going backwards the last 2 weeks. And then, yeah, Mills just sort of had enough of the ball, but just, didn't use it very well or got turned over and whatnot. So Richards copped a tag from Jordan, that I do know. Bont didn't even show up for his 250. If Brayshaw doesn't really play well against St Kilda, clearly. Hewitt was not a bad VC shout in the end. And then, yeah, Chera did nothing, just like the Carlton midfield in general, barring Hewitt. McCarthy on debut was solid. And then, yeah, Gaunt, who I probably should have traded due to the fixture we were talking about a couple of weeks ago at that expensive price. Probably made sense to get rid of him because he's playing Wits. Captain Sherry because I thought he's a safe pick, and probably was the pick of the bunch, barring Hewitt VC. I was a little bit nervous against Meek, but I just thought he was a safe C option to me this week, and came through with a 111, which is not the end of the world, but it's not amazing compared to some blokes getting 150s for a captaincy. And then the forward line, Petrarca bounced back, 104, Darcy, whatever, for Bolton. That's a long-term 8-week play. We'll see the differential between points there. Caleb Daniels, not bad, averaging 94.9. You'll take that for a guy that we paid bugger all for. And then Warner, 96, Rankin, 99. It's, the game that you thought Rankin would go nuts in against Richmond, to be honest. But yeah, tries to do too much. Like Ben Miller caught him, I remember. And then DeConning, 85, was actually pretty poor considering he was matched up against Visitini and Sweet. So yeah, that's the only reason I didn't VC him was the double ruck. Never really tends to score well for the guy that's going solo, just because they seem to be a little bit more exhausted taking on 2 blokes and the one-on-one, I guess. No real advantage because when one's off the field, there's another one to compete, and not like, a forward ruckman, like a Darling or whatever, a pinch ruckman. They're actually up against a genuine ruckman for that second guy when they come back on the field. So I think the theory for DeConning, I didn't really like a 3-ruck setup, but I look at the top 100 when I was in the top 100. Most of the people had him, and he was scoring really well up until the point 2 weeks ago. So, yeah, interesting for DeConning because of the Pitto name. If Pitto's named again, I'm getting rid of DeConning really quickly, and I'll go down to 2 trades. Sheasel I can probably loop this week. So if we have a look at the VC and C options this week, it's, for me, I think I'm just honestly just going Bont into Bailey Smith. I don't think I'll muck around with it too much. Bont's got good scoring history. Look, Bailey Smith plays GMHBA as a week off. He's probably not sore as much anymore. What night does he play? Surely a Saturday game you'd think the Cats would have it. Yeah, Saturday 4:15. That's a bit of an odd game, but yeah. So for me, Bonds into Bailey Smith. I don't really like much else on my side. I'm gonna loop Diesel this week just because I can. I can't loop Mills and McCarthy, so Mills will come on to the leak bench, and I can grab Sheasel score if he scores well. If not, Mills will play him instead. Excuse me. Again, I had no cost before the potty, and they've all come out of nowhere. So yeah, here's my floating 24th to cover midfield, laid out or something as well, because I got Sard and kept him there. And hopefully he's actually named this week because apparently he's off the injury list, I think. Well, you can see that. There's no injury marking against him, which means he should be playing. So he's my 24th essentially, and not my D6, as most people do have him there, or the flex. He's actually just a genuine floater. But because my backline's skeptical, I'm going to use him this week, especially because the role's there for him, unfortunately, unlike Shees. Johnson, I hope, keeps still playing and hopefully gets DPP down back. And same with Sard. Like, hopefully he plays as well. Hoping he plays Simpson, between round 21 and 24, just for slight cover if anything goes wrong. But 3 injury trades to go. Teams looking pretty solid all in all. Just a really poor week that the Primos didn't show up. We've had the same side. Nothing sort of went my way, and you sort of just cop those weeks. Now, best 22 will probably expose sides that have, weak depth or no cover for Whitfield because they're running McCarthy at D6 and Whitfield's actually D5, etc. Well, Whitfield's higher than that by average anyway, but teams might have to field Angus Clark because of the Whitfield out. There might be a little bit more carnage. The carnage will actually help a side like mine, given we're not in best 18 anymore. So kind of got to death ride a little bit of carnage and hope that my cover is better than everyone else's cover and maybe do a few VC and C pods, who knows. But now that I'm out of the race at 6:01, I feel a little bit not as pressured, but I'm still going to enjoy my lives and enjoy my Supercoach and still aim for the top 100 regardless of how we've fared the last couple of weeks. So I've learned a few lessons this season so far and been fairly consistent, but my aim is not to drop off from here on. It's not to get outside top 1K, basically. It's to finish between 1K and 100, but ideally the top 100 is where I'm at, where I think I should be at anyway. Excuse me again, that's the third one. So, and I can't be bothered re-recording because this takes a lot of effort and time. So, yeah, thanks for everyone jumping on the Sunday Night Lives as well when I go solo. And obviously, I had Rookie come in as a late sub. He filled in for the last hour, I think, of the stream, and then I'll do another one tonight. And I'll get this one out actually straight away because I never get to do really Monday night streams. But, yeah, bit of a tough one today. But, yeah, honestly, Supercoach is such a good distraction for all of us, regardless of what we do in life. And I just thank you guys for your support. And yeah, the next 8 weeks, I'm still looking forward to. We'll do a lot of preseason content. For those who've been following me and supporting me, especially this year, I've had a lot of people jump on. So if you do have trades and you're willing to make some still, or let me know in the comments below your trade plans. If you're tossing up between a few VC and Cs, and chuck your team name in the comments if you do want to. I've now got a little bit more time to do that now that we're starting to slow down. People don't got trades. I don't mind a few team name drops in the YouTube comment of this video, so you can actually have a look at your team in depth and actually see where you can make some moves. But I wouldn't be advocating for trades if you've got under 4. Over 4, yeah, sure, you can do some sideways things, but under 4 is a little bit too risky for me. But other than that, hot topics this week will probably be, do you trade Sheasel? Again, I'm probably going to say yes, you do. If you've got more than 4 trades, Whitfield I'd actually hold at this point because the role at least is there. I don't know if there's any other carnage, but players I'd look to bring in this week for me, probably obviously if you don't got Butters would be a hot one. Goulden's the other guy. And then there's really nothing else I really would consider for the price point. So other than that, hoping to get some climbing of ranks again, and we can't do anything with 3 trades left. We've just got to hold on tight and hope for the best. So, sorry, I do get some comments too saying, about time you've done a shorter video, but the live stream's essentially a live stream for a reason, that for you guys to spam comments and talk about Supercoach and talk about, this and that, whereas the weekly videos are always going to be one you can actually consume in 15 to 20 minutes max. So, thanks for joining. 8 weeks to go. Hopefully you guys are going in the green and probably overtaking me at this point as well and truly. So peaked at 38. Hopefully we can get back in that 38 range, but I'm a little bit doubtful, but on paper team looks great. I've had a good year so far and we're going to continue to make content this year and next and see where we go from then on. Again, thanks for watching. If you haven't already, please give a thumbs up and a like on the way out. Sub to me if you haven't already, especially when we go live with some other creators back into the season as well. So cheers for watching. Thanks again. And I'll catch you on the next. Thank you.